Now let's get a little bit deeper into the workspace. Let's talk about the workspace sidebar and what the possibilities are with that. Okay, so first we're going to talk about how you can add more workspaces, how you can view workspaces in parallel, talk about moving content between workspaces, adding items to new workspaces, and portals, which is a very nice advanced workspace feature. Let's expand the workspace sidebar like this. All right. You have a workspace that's, again, an infinite canvas, but that may not be enough. In a lot of cases, people want a different workspace for different phases of the project, different parts of your project. So what you can do is simply tap Add Workspace, and you see Liquitext will create a new workspace for you. Once you have this, you can change its name very easily. You can go here to rename and say, let's say, Phase 2. You can change its color. So you see I can select, I'll make this green. You can also change its style. So again, click the three dots button, and you see under layout, we have dots, college ruled, legal ruled, graph, or none. So I'll select, in this case, graph. And so this way I can have different workspaces, have a different color and a different style. Really convenient. The other thing too is workspaces can actually be nested. If I, for example, want phase 2 to be a child of page 1, I can simply drag phase 2 onto page 1 here. And you see now the little icon becomes an arrow, and I can expand it or shrink it. In this case, I'll pull phase 2 back out and make it top level again. So the purpose of this is it's very easy to have a large, complex project in Liquitext and structure it in nice, simple, hierarchical ways. Okay, now the next issue is you might want to view two workspaces in parallel. So let's say I want to view page 1 and workspace at the same time. Let's rename this something a little more useful here. We'll say call it phase 3. Okay, so let's say I want to view page 1 and phase 3 in parallel. Well, just like with documents, exactly like with documents, I can take it and drag it out and bring it right here. You see, and now we have the two of them side by side. And also, just like with documents, I can click the three dots and go to show in parallel, and it'll do the same thing. Now, one of the great things about showing multiple workspaces side by side is that you can move content between them in really easy ways just by dragging. So this text box here, I can simply drag it and bring it right over to the phase 3 workspace. If I change my mind, I can just drag it and bring it right back to the page 1 workspace. Very easy. I can also do this another way. I can, especially if I have a large amount of complex content, I can simply select it all and go to copy or cut and then paste it into the other workspace as well. So for example, you can go to copy, I'll go to the second one, paste, and you see it duplicates it. And now we have a second text box there. Now to show you portals are definitely a more advanced feature, but it's a really nice one. So let's say we go back to all the material about the surgeon and how the surgeon performed the procedure. Let's say these items here are related to particularly shaving off a bone spur. And let's say I consider that to be sort of a distinct part of the procedure. I want it to be in its own separate workspace so I can analyze it independently. Well, of course, I could select these, go to cut, create a new workspace, paste them into the new workspace, but it's actually easier than that. I can just select these and directly go to send to child workspace. And it'll now create a new child workspace for me. I'll say, let's say, shaving the bone spur. And you see what it does? It created a new child workspace under page 1 with all that material right there. Very easy. The other thing that it did, you'll notice, is when it removed those original excerpts to move them over, or when it moved them away from page 1, it left a link to shaving the bone spur. So wherever I am, I can always just click this link and get right back to this child workspace. This is one of the nice things about workspaces. If you have a complex setup, you don't have to just rely on your workspace list here. You can actually just create links to them in your other workspaces. Now, there's something else that we can do with these links that's pretty powerful. For example, let's go find a piece of an image here like this. Let's say I create a new excerpt and I say, this excerpt also really is related to shaving off a bone spur. I'd like to move this into that workspace. Well, does that mean I have to go to the workspace, then drag this out? No, there's actually a faster way. I can directly drag this excerpt right over the link. And you see when I drag it over the link, it says I can send it directly to this workspace, right? So again, I just drag it over the link and let go. And now if we go to that child workspace, there it is. It dragged it and dropped it right into that child workspace. This is great because it means I can have, for example, links to several different workspaces here and just drag and drop excerpts directly into them, use them as buckets. So I can organize a large number of excerpts into different workspaces very quickly and very easily. So this was the workspace sidebar. We talked about adding workspaces, viewing workspaces in parallel, moving content between them, moving items to a new workspace, and portals, dragging things into a link.